So I've had an interest in detective books and mystery novels ever since I was a young little sprout, and I was reading Nancy Drew books when I was in first grade, and I think I started reading Agatha Christie books when I was, I don't know, 11, maybe? 11 or 12? I can't remember. I know that I think I read And Then There Were None first, and then Murder on the Orient Express, but that I might have those backwards. Anyway, I wanted to talk about two of my favorites today. They go together. They are The Secret of Chimneys and The Seven Dials Mystery. In the grand scheme of Agatha Christie novels, these are a little bit different. They don't have that serious tone or spooky atmosphere. They're pretty silly. But that's probably why I love them. I like my mysteries to be fun. I like detectives to have a sense of humor, and I like there to be a lot of variety. And the thing about these two is also that they aren't just about the murder. Like, somebody is killed, yes, but there's a lot more going on. I would say that the main theme of both of them is that nobody is as he or she seems to be. Okay, so, The Secret of Chimneys. I actually read this one after I read its sequel, but it was still just as good. There's actually very little overlap besides a small group of characters. I haven't read this in a while, so I'm going off of my memory, but I did read it a few times. The story starts somewhere in Africa with this young man, Anthony Cade, who is approached by an old friend of his, and this friend commissions him to take this packet of letters to England for him. He wants them to be delivered to a publisher, and once Anthony gets to England, he's approached by a variety of kind of unsavory individuals who want to buy the papers off of him. The papers are stolen at some point. He ends up at this family estate, Chimneys, where he meets another group of kind of wacky people, and you start to wonder, what is it that's so important? Is it the memoirs? Is it something that's in them? Is it a person? It's all very international, too. There's an American and a Frenchman and a French governess and a member of the Red Hand Society and a count, and I think Baron Lowell or whatever his name is in this one. And along the way, Anthony runs into romance and political intrigue and mistaken identities and a body in the library, and it's all this good stuff, and it's really fun. The detective featured in both of these books is Superintendent Battle, who is my personal favorite among Agatha Christie's detectives. I can't really explain it. I just really like him, and I think it's because of the way his character turns out to be in the Seven Dials Mystery, which I will talk about next. It's just such a lovely green color. Of course, now everything's turning pink. The Seven Dials Mystery is actually, in some ways, even sillier than The Secret of Chimneys, but the stakes are just as high. These bright young things are all at this party, and they're pulling a practical joke on one of their fellows, and something goes wrong. They set up all these clocks in this guy's room to go off at the same time. He doesn't wake up, and they're like, what happened? And it turns out he was dead, and he was murdered, of all things. It's really fast-paced. You've got characters who, they're the talk fast, drive fast, live fast type. Young people that you get in crazy high society of the 1920s. The main character is a young woman who you met in The Secret of Chimneys, and her name is Lady Eileen Brent, but she goes by Bundle, and that kind of gives you a feel of what the book's like. I just love all the characters. There's this kind of crooked politician guy who's just nasty, and he's always picking on her, and then she does something he really admires, and he starts to think, oh, maybe I should actually be interested in her. And her father is just like, I don't want anything to do with anybody. Bundle sneaks into this place in Soho, which I guess is kind of a dump, or at least it used to be. I don't know now. And she gets locked into this cupboard, and she overhears this meeting between these people. And they all wear masks that have clock faces on them, and they're all set at different times. So one person is referred to as 4 o'clock, one person is 5 o'clock, and so on. So not only is she trying to figure out who killed the guy in the beginning, but she's trying to figure out who are these people, and should she be concerned? Characters who seem really sinister may or may not actually be bad. People who are really good actually turn out to be bad. As far as Bundle is concerned, the stakes are pretty high, considering that she's just this young girl who's trying to have a good time with life, and suddenly she's thrown into this crazy mixture of treachery and possible treason and who knows what else. So yes, these two, very fun reads. I loved them. I've read them many times. They're my favorites, except for And Then There Were None, which is my other favorite. And I really like The Mousetrap too. And, oh, by the way, they made a movie of The Secret of Chimneys a couple years ago, and they interjected Miss Marple into it. Why? And they just totally messed up the whole story. It had nearly nothing to do with the original, and, it really irritated me a lot. But, I just pretend that didn't happen. If you like Agatha Christie, and you like fun mystery books with a dash of murder here, and a dash of intrigue there, and secrets, and surprises around all the corners, you should read these, because they're fun, and I think people tend to forget about them. I don't know why. Everybody cares about, the Orient Express, and Roger Ackroyd, and all that, but, I'd much rather read these again.